Very good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of philosophy, and we have started discussing about the Robert's philosophy. The first chapter from the Robert, that is the what has homeopathy to offer to a young man. And in this chapter, he started with the very important thing that what is your expectation from the life. That is the cross question he has mentioned over there. And because what do you expect in your life, whether you are expecting the fame, whether you are expecting the money, whether you are expecting to become something surgeon like attitude, if such things are there homeopathy will going to give you little. That's what he explained. But at the same time he explains over there that if you have the inner feeling that you have to serve the suffering humanity, so to work for the people who are suffering with a lot of chronic disorders, and you have a quite stability, you have a patience, you want to do a hard work, then homeopathy has much to give to you. And with that paragraph he has started. And what should be the qualities of homeopathic physician in order to achieve such a success in homeopathy, that he started explaining about there. We have discussed certain qualities of the homeopathic physician, which he mentioned over there. The first quality which he has said regarding it is the stability. The person should be stable, very confident. He should not be a restless mind. He should not have a mercurial temperament. That's the word which he has used. The first important quality of homeopathic physician is the stability. If he is stable, he can handle any type of case, and he should keep patience with himself. Patience is the second important quality. If he is patient, then he can treat the patient. So that's a very important second quality. One has to born, or one should have that native ability to about those things. Then third important thing which he has explained is related that he should be a student of a people. Very important word he has used. He should learn how to read the peoples. And for that purpose, the reading other than the curriculum books, reading the peoples, observing the facts in the world, observing the people, learning their emotions, all those things which he has to develop in himself. At the same time, he has used one more quality. He should be a student of homeopathic philosophy, because philosophy explains exactly what Hahnemann wants to say in Organon. If you want to grasp the principles which are explained by Hahnemann in the Organon, then you have to learn them by heart with the help of philosophy, because philosophy explains it in a simple word by giving illustration, by giving different simple examples. And that's why the principles of Organon are very easily understood with the help of philosophy. That's why he has explained over there that he should have that quality of, he should be a student of philosophy. Then he explains that he should have capacity to read in between the lines. That is, he should develop a perceiving. The verbal communication is not always needed. Many times, without verbal communication, you should perceive the patient, and that is nothing but reading in between the lines. You have to understand, you have to feel patient's feeling when you look toward the patient, and that's the thing which he has mentioned. Last quality which we have discussed is he should possess the sense of values. He should know what is important and what is not important, what is useful and what is not useful, what is characteristic and what is common. Unless you have the sense of values, it is not possible to achieve that. And that's the one other quality which he has mentioned. And last thing which he has mentioned over there, where we have finished yesterday last lecture, that he should be a hard worker, or he should be industrious, that he should spend hours together to understand the suffering people. If it takes 2 hours, that capacity should be there with the physician, so that he can understand that patient and he can find it out a right solution for that patient. So these are the things which we have learned in last lecture. Let us go ahead with the page number 15. To the young man who is equipped and willing to undergo the training for lifelong task, homeopathy has everything to offer. Very important thing which I have mentioned. Who is equipped? What is the equipment of the homeopathy? Equipment is nothing but the books. Equipment is nothing but literature available in the field of Organon, in the field of mathematics, in the field of pharmacy, in the field of repertory. And he should be equipped with all those. That is more important. And that he has to undergo a lifelong task, that he has to understand those books, those equipments, and with the help of that, he has to help the suffering humanity. That is a lifelong task. It is not a day one you have to work hard. You have to work hard day and night. After 35 years of practice till today, I feel that I'm not having thorough knowledge. Because when you go ahead, you're going to find it out there. The field of dynamics is open and it is endless. It is an endless study. If you are achieving the path of dynamics, then it is a lifelong task. That's what he is explaining. So next quality that he should have the well equipped, that is the all the books, all the softwares nowadays, because it contains many books and because of which it becomes rather simple. It becomes the task becomes simple because of the understanding the recent advantage. So that's the another thing which he has mentioned. And one more word, that is lifelong task. Then he explains, in the first place, homeopathy offers to the independent mind an opportunity continually to seek new verifications of the natural laws upon which this system of medicine is based. So another important point which he explains over there, opportunity. What is the opportunity? To verify your law again and again. All eternal laws you can verify a number of times whenever you are going to treat the patients. So that is another important thing which he explains over there. Then he explains it opens up vast fields to the pioneer, and we cannot gaze the distance that eager minds may travel now, nor how greatly the interpretations of these laws may influence the civilizations of the future. Your mind should be very much inquisitive. It should go on thinking, it should go on understanding, it should go on perceiving a number of things, and there should be a many ideas flows in your mind. And you can think, this has not been there in homeopathy. We have to work for that. There is no correlation. The statistical work is missing in homeopathy. There is no correlation that psoriasis and homeopathy. No one works for that. We used to make dissertations without actually doing the work. If we do such a type of study, the disease-oriented study, we can learn a lot about homeopathy and we can develop homeopathy to a scientific level. There are many opportunities to go for it. The autoimmune disorders and homeopathy, if one takes the task of going for learning the autoimmune disorders and its correlation with homeopathy, you're going to learn a lot. Robert has given such a things in his book. He has given one chapter, homeopathic therapeutics in the field of endocrinal disorder. It is his own study. The similar type of studies are necessary in order to correlate the things in relation with the disorders, and that is a big opportunity for a young man to go ahead. Then homeopathy offers a lot. See, there are many opportunities which we can achieve in our field. Homeopathy offers a life of service to the humanity, and it is only method of healing that surely sets the sick man and sick woman on the permanent road to the recovery. What is this? It is the only method which treats and cures the patient. It cures the patient right from the base, right from the root. Any chronic disorder can be treated with the help of homeopathy if it is not beyond the limitation. We must remember that though we may fail, the failure is ours. It is not the failure of homeopathy, and this one should underline. Many times we fail. That failure is not of homeopathy, it is failure to achieve or find it out a right remedy for the patient. That is our failure. The better knowledge we have of the tools of our trade, the better use you should make of them. See what he is saying. He's explaining over there the better knowledge of the tools. What are the tools? The tools are again the books. The repertory is a big tool. If you have thorough knowledge about the repertory and if you understand them repertory properly, and not only one repertory, varieties of repertory. It should be a complete repertory, it should be a synthesis repertory, it should be Kent's repertory, it should be, it can be a particular repertory, any repertory. You must know that Nair's repertory. If you have knowledge of different tools which are available, then you can apply them, apply the remedies to the patient, and your success rate will be very high. And that's why whatever the recent advances are coming, the technical things are coming in the field of homeopathy, because of which it becomes rather simple to repertorize each and every case. The softwares are available, because of which it becomes rather simple to reach to the right remedy, which was not possible 30-35 years back. Before computer era, it was rather difficult to find it out or to treat each and every case. Today we can handle many cases, but it was not possible 35 years back, because manually going through the repertories was rather a difficult task. Now it is on the tip of your fingers. Even mobiles, you can have those softwares and you can go to and reach to the right particular rubrics also to find it out the right remedy. Then he says further that homeopathy treats the sick individual. It is therefore a speciality. Underline this sentence. Homeopathy treats the sick individual. That is the first aphorism, where he has mentioned that the high and only mission of the physician is to restore the sick. The same sentence here, Robert said. You have to treat the sick individual. So here you don't have to go for a disorder. Here you have to go for the understanding the person for whom you have to give the right remedy. And if you want to give the right remedy, then this is the only way. So homeopathy treats the sick individual. It is therefore a speciality. Instead, in spite of the trend towards the group practice, group thinking, and even group mode of life, as seen all about us today, we have yet to be convinced that man is not greater than mass, and that is long and as long as intelligent thinking, people realize and prize their individuality. The individual approach will hold an appeal to them. So whenever you go on treating the patients with the help of homeopathy, it is not a group aspect. You will not going to give the same remedy for 10 people who are suffering from the same disorder. Because our treatment never depends upon the diagnosis, our treatment depends upon that individual. We have to find it out a remedy for that individual, and that's a different speciality of homeopathy. We have to understand the remedy for him. And that's why in the earlier paragraph, what he said, that you should be a student of a people, because you have to learn the peoples, you have to learn the human beings. Because you have to give the remedy to the human beings, to the sick individual, and not to the disorder. Therefore, homeopathy offers a special inducement to the man who can teach people to think and act as individuals and to demand medical treatment as individuals. So that is our line of treatment is always to be an individualistic. We used to go on individualizing the human being, and you have to find it out the right remedy for the patient. Homeopathy considers the man as a whole, not just his individual parts. A very important point which he is explaining. Here we used to treat the individuals, not the parts. We are not treating the head, we are not treating the nose, we are not treating GI system, we are not treating nervous system, but we are treating the human being who is suffering from such disorders, and then our treatment is aimed at the individual as a whole. Therefore, primarily homeopathy has less appeal for man of mechanical bent, for it is this man who makes the best surgeon. Instead, homeopathy offers gentler way towards the health of entire individual. So there is no question of surgical intervention. If the patient is having gangrene in the tip of the finger, we never treat the gangrene, we treat the individual. So there is no question of treating the gangrene, and because of which we are not going to look toward the gangrene and remove that gangrene with the help of surgery, but we are going to think why that gangrene has developed. Because individual is sick, and because of his individual is sick, that's why he developed the gangrene. Then treat the individual, the gangrene will automatically get treated. And this concept is very, very, very important. He is explaining all those concepts which are followed in homeopathy, because of which it rather becomes simple to understand things. And if you know the thoroughly, exactly this approach, then you will not going to treat any pathology, you will going to treat the sick individuals. One thing the student must consider is the differentiation between medicine and public health service. This is again very important entity which he is explaining, because many of us don't know the difference over there. Public health service ideally has to do with the prevention of diseases in the community, in guarding food and water supply, in providing facilities and restrictions for adequate healthy housing conditions, and in attempting to proper disposal of waste matter, so that health of the community will be guarded against the epidemics borne by impure water, milk, and other food supplies, or born in insanitary or unhygienic conditions. So public health sector deals with the community, not with individual. So being an homeopath, you should not go on treating that concept. You are not going to treat the community at a time. You are going to find it out a remedy for specifically for the individual. That is the approach of homeopath. Mass treating or mass prevention never comes under the homeopathy, because homeopathy will not going to treat in such a manner. The waterborne diseases, vector-borne diseases, the treatment of water is not the aim of homeopathy. If the patients who are suffering from that, yes, he can find it out a right remedy for that patient, treat with individually. And if there are epidemics, then he can go on finding it out or treating many patients. Then he come to the totality of the epidemic. Then he finds out a remedy for that epidemic called as genus epidemicus, and that he can give to the people who are not suffering for that. But this is a different approach. He will not going to treat the water. He will not going to deal with the sewage plants, because that is not the aspect of homeopath. That comes under the public health sector. Allopathy or modern science goes more in favor of that, because they know that that is the only thing that they can do. There is no question of curing the patients over there, and that's why they goes on prevention more than a cure. Medicine ideally has to do with cure of diseases. What he says is very correct. Medicine ideally has to do with cure of diseases, the building up of individual, not overlooking the proper hygiene and sanitation, but with the deeper view of needs of individual himself rather than the needs of the community. See, what he is explaining is very correct. It is not a public health sector work the individual homeopath should do. He should understand the patient, finds it out his difficulty, finds it out his disorder, understand the disorder, understand that human being, understand why that disorder has developed in that human being, and then treat that individual. That's the big work. Here, he has to give a lot of time. He has to spend a lot of time to understand the human being. It is not so simple. It is a big task. So he don't have time to treat the community. He has to time to treat each and every individual. And basically, if he is treating the chronic diseases, then he requires much time. Homeopathic medicine goes even further than this. For homeopathy seeks to relieve the individual as much as possible from heavy burden of hereditary tendencies he carries, and to guard against increasing this load by enabling his vital energy to provide its own immunity against the disease. Homeopathy looks upon the health of the individual as a precious charge, and return of individual to health as almost certain if we but follow the fundamental laws. So See what he is explaining. He is explaining each and everything. He is explaining that why this disorder has developed, hereditary tendency. Homeopathy thinks the miasm. Miasm is a big word. One part of it is hereditary tendency. We in allopathy they used to call the hereditary disorder. But many times you cannot get the history over there in the past because the same disease is not transmitted from past generation to the present generation. It has been called that Duchenne muscular dystrophy is X-linked disorder. I have 130 cases of this disorder and nearly hundreds of cases there is no history happened to be there in last 4-5 generations regarding this disease. Then how it can be transmitted? If it is not there, still you are saying that it is inherited. It is inherited in the form of miasm, not in the form of disease as it is. Miasm is a very big terminology. One part of it is the one disorder. So, homeopathy looks towards that miasm, how the miasm is transmitted from past generations to the present generation. If he takes into consideration those and he understands that human being, then he treats that individual and then he can prevent the further development of the disease with the help of proper anti-miasmatic constitutional remedy. Then if he follows all those fundamental principles, fundamental laws, then he will definitely treat the individuals who are suffering from chronic disorders. Another growing distinction between the public health service, so-called, and the medicine, especially homeopathic medicine, is the increasing use of serums and vaccines. This is a big issue which Robert has dealt with. The difference between the vaccine, serums, and homeopathy. Many times it has been wrongly interpreted that vaccines therapy is based upon the homeopathy. Not at all. It has been claimed that these preparations are really homeopathic. Even the instructors in the homeopathic colleges have taught thus to demonstrate homeopathic principle. Let the young man consider this logically. What he says is, this is not homeopathic. It has been said to the people that vaccines are based upon the homeopathic principles. Not at all. Vaccines are never based upon the homeopathic principle. Vaccines are based upon the principle of simillimum is repelled by the simillimum. And there is no question of repulsion in homeopathy. Homeopathy is based upon law of similars, a similia similibus curantur, but there is no question of repulsion. Hahnemann have explained, illustrated that in his Organon. He says that when two similar diseases meets inside one human being, or when two natural similar diseases meets inside one human being, they neither repels nor suspends, never forms a complex disease. This is what he has said. And same is true. Vaccine is based upon the repulsion principle, and repulsion is not homeopathy. See, these concepts should be very clear in your mind. The next paragraph, next two paragraphs are related with the specifically with the vaccine that will deal tomorrow's session because we have to understand what is exactly difference and how these vaccines are vaccines used to produce many problems in the human being, why it produces all those things we're going to discuss in tomorrow's session. So that's all for today. Thank you. And today evening we're going to meet with one more short remedy from fourth year syllabus at 8:15. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
Thank you.